Well, we've got 3 teams left here in Europe, and we have 2 more series to decide who will be the champion of the 4th Cup of the summer season here. Method Black, once again, in the grand final. Surprise, surprise. Now we get to find who will be their competition for the final series of the day. It is going to be the best of the Rogue Mages in the lower, the Diabolus versus Change My Mind matchup. I'm Healing Stan and I'm hosting. We have Venruki, Supertease and Zico on the desk for us here. And it's a good thing we have 2 mages on the desk because we have a lot of mages playing out in the tournaments right now. The Rogue Mage Druid, we were talking about it a little bit before we headed into the break, and we really do feel like there is kind of a difference in play styles between these 2 teams. Diabolus prefer to draw things out a little bit, potentially going for some larger map picks in this mirror.
Yeah, I mean, Diabolus, when I've watched them at least, they have done a lot of mage races, and when those don't work out, they just go for the healer. So they just do really, really nice healer swaps, and that's how they find a lot of their victory. And in the previous matchup, we saw a lot of games go for the rogue strategy, where you kind of you're trying to kill the rogue, you do a swap over onto the druid, and if you can get the druid's trinket, you can maybe blind him and keep going for the rogue, or smoke bomb the rogue, defensive blind the rogue and get more uptime on the druid. So that's really what I'm going to be watching out for. But I wouldn't say that Diabolus is a super defensive team. I mean, they can definitely get nice and aggressive as well. It just depends on what strategy we're going to be seeing from these guys. I think we're going to be seeing a little bit more damage used over onto Fried Kitty, though.
I remember I used to play a lot of chess, and I remember one of the kind of theories that people went for is like, if you're the underdog team, you want to be the one invoking chaos. It'll give you the highest opportunities for a kill. So we'll have to see which team is playing more aggressive in this one. Diabolus versus Change My Mind. We haven't seen too many mirrors between these 2 sides. Rumor has it that Diabolus is pretty good in the mirror, but Change My Mind look good against Method Black.
Yeah, rumor has it. I was just going to say Fried Kitty and Alec having a snowball fight in midfield, but they've stacked up 5 icicles each, so their next Ice Lance could be a decent hit. Alec going to unload his here onto Fried Kitty. Minpoike in a Ring of Frost, but he anticipated the crowd control and Iron Bark prior to it, and already you can see that the mage race is the strategy that Diabolus wants to play for. Change My Mind are not running that line. They're going after Nixie, and we will find out which strategy is actually the better. Fried Kitty appears to be struggling a lot. 1 ice block already out of the way.
That was the Icy Veins, that was Vendetta. A lot of offense pulled out from Diabolus, but they get the ice block that's big. They got the safeguard as well. Fried Kitty not messing around, immediately using that cold snap to try to get that cooldown rolling for a 3rd ice block potentially later on in the game. But these games have been going pretty quick. Kidney shot secured by Nixie onto Fried Kitty. They're going for all-out control. And Poike still has his trinket, he still has his Iron Bark, but Fried Kitty just getting relentlessly tunneled down. Change My Mind has been struggling to find counter pressure. They're going Nixie, but I think Nixie's going to be fine. Askroth in a good position to heal him up. Minpoike pushes in, I think. And Askroth manages to get the bash, hibernate. And I think there's a Ring of Frost dropped out as well. So the overlap there, fortunately for Change My Mind, but they get the crowd control of Minpoike anyways. Now full Cyclone. Minpoike gets out of the Cyclone into a Recyclone. He trades out his trinket. This could easily be the 2nd ice block from Fried Kitty. This is big from Diabolus. Can they pull it off? There's a blind on Asgrath. He's sitting through a full Ring of Frost, and Change My Mind has just really struggled to find any sort of damage so far. Finally, a big hit on Nixie. He's getting low, but he has the Cloak of Shadows. Safeguard procs. Nice Cyclone coming in from Minpoike. Finally, some momentum building for Change My Mind.
Yep, I was starting to think that the mage might actually be the best strategy until that attack. Nixie falls pretty far behind, and Change My Mind stay in the game. Smoke bomb gets dropped for Nixie. They're powering through, looking for the 2nd ice block. Alec is doing a lot of damage. He saved all those icicles for this push, but they need a little bit more. Temporal Shield goes off. Fried Kitty going to be healing a lot as a result. Perhaps it doesn't matter. Ring of Frost has been locked down. If Nixie gets dispelled, he's going to reconnect, but he's polymorphed on it. Now he's not going to be able to. Fried Kitty taking control of the fight while Minpoike sits through crowd control to hold on to his 2nd ice block. Well done by Change My Mind. Now it's their turn to attack. Although waiting for the kidney shot to fade before doing so. Nixie's just trying to slow down the fight. Vendetta available for Nixie. But that was an error on Acro's part, going for the diminishing return stun on Nixie. That could have been a big opportunity, and now it's lost.
Yep, opportunity is lost. It is wasted. Nixie's still a little bit low. Alec building up as much damage as he can on Fried Kitty. There's the full kidney shot. Where's the crowd control? Minpoike, he's positioned across the map. Fried Kitty goes for the Temporal Shield play. That's going to roll and bounce his health back to full. Nicely done by Fried Kitty. Good defensive maneuvers. Poike, let's see his mana compared to Asgaroth. That could be a factor in the late game. Poike at around 45%, Asgaroth at around 65%. Things are looking really solid here for Diabolus.
Yeah, they are. If they can maintain this momentum, they need to be trying to get the second ice block here with this stun. They crowd control Minpoike 5 seconds before his Gladiator's Medallion. This could be the second ice block. If Nixie can stay on target, Ursul's Vortex pulling Fried Kitty back in. Nixie and Hot Pursuit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be the second ice block, and Diabolus are winning the race significantly at this point.
Yeah, Acro actually using his Crucible of Flame to heal up Fried Kitty on that ice block, but that's damage lost. And we kind of talked about Diabolus being this defensive team, but they are doing all the damage. They have all the momentum. Fried Kitty's been on the back foot the entire game. On the damage meters, Nixie and Alec are way ahead in this matchup. Acro and Fried Kitty, they need to figure something out quick. They're going for an all-in on Asgaroth. They need to take him down right now. Defensive blind by Nixie. He realizes Acro, he's playing with the Relentless, so those full blinds are going to sit, and as a result, Asgaroth survives that all-in attempt.
But it wasn't Vendetta, so Acro still has some pretty powerful attacks left in the bank. In the meantime, though, Alec has crowd control on both Minpoike and Acro. That could be trouble for Fried Kitty. Minpoike is still 14 seconds away from his Iron Bark. Temporal Shield from Fried Kitty needs to be enough. It's looking like it should be. Nixie's cycloned. Fried Kitty will bounce back into the fight. What is Acro going to do with this next Vendetta? I feel like they almost need to net a kill with it if they want to pull victory off here against Diabolus in game 1. They decide not to pull the trigger on the Vendetta during this push, instead powering through with just their own damage alone. Asgaroth escaping with Iron Bark. Acro gets Frost Nova'd by Alec, dispelled by Minpoike, but Polymorphed on the dispel. Doesn't look like it was able to land. Now Acro cycloned. The crowd control from Diabolus totally shutting down Acro's attack. 1 minute left for Cold Snap on Fried Kitty. Change My Mind need to do everything in their power to make it to that point.
Yeah, nice control there by Asgaroth. He faked the Shadow Step kick, got a Cyclone on Nixie, but now he's in trouble. He's in big trouble. Vendetta pulls out by Acro. They have to play defensive. Nixie realizing the situation, throws the kidney shot over onto Acro, drops the smoke bomb, trying to get some pressure rolling so Acro cannot continue to make this offensive push. But it looks like Acro's going to be okay. Cyclone comes in from Asgaroth. They need crowd control on Minpoike if they want to have any hope to take down Acro in this situation. Maybe they just kill him with damage. Minpoike really struggling to keep him alive. They do have defensives they can rotate through. Still, in terms of a mage race, Fried Kitty, his ice block's coming back up. Alec, during that exchange, used his ice block as basically a trinket. Acro now getting caught in a smoke bomb. He's forced to trinket out. He has the Cloak of Shadows. He's running away. Nixie also getting low. This game is sort of reverted back to a rogue race.
All right, let's see who wins that one. I mean, Diabolus spent so much of the early game on the mage to not actually net the kill there. That is unfortunate. But Nixie is further behind, I believe, in terms of the rogue trades. So this is trouble for Diabolus. They were winning for about the first 5 minutes, but now I would say they're in a losing position. Changed My Mind have turned this game on its head. Can they keep it going, though? Minpoike is almost completely out of mana. Asgaroth secures a Cyclone. Acro line of sighting, avoiding Nixie as long as possible. Fainting when Nixie comes in line of sight, anticipating the stun, but Nixie's patient and holding on to it. Acro again anticipating a stun, using evasion to continue to stay on target while Asgaroth is crowd controlled. But Acro has traded both of his defensives. Nixie has Vendetta. He could power through for the kill at this moment in time. Going for the stun. Big damage. It's a bait for the Iron Bark, but it's almost just necessary to keep Acro alive. That wasn't the Vendetta. Nixie has now played it patiently enough that the next stun could be the end of the match for Acro.
Yeah, well, they have Icy Veins and Vendetta coming up in 18 seconds. If they pair those together, I think it's too big of a hit for Acro to really deal with. Sap now on Minpoike. Acro in so much trouble. He's trying to run. He's trying to hide. Nixie, if he pulls the trigger on the Vendetta, he's still just holding on to it. Kidney shot lands. Still no Vendetta. When? When are you going to use it? This is the perfect moment. Acro would just die, but he's not using it. And now Nixie in a kidney shot. Acro, he might be able to survive the situation, but Minpoike is still in crowd control. No. Acro's still low. Cyclone now on Acro. I'm really surprised to see them not use those cooldowns.
I don't know why they wouldn't have used it now. I mean, he's so low on health, it's unrecoverable. Minpoike has no mana. He's counterspelled now. I mean, okay, it's kind of BM to just kill him with no Vendetta, but I guess he's dead. And Diabolus are going to take game 1.
I guess he's dead. Never satisfied quite. But I mean, obviously, even without the Vendetta, Diabolus, you know, they tried out a few different strategies here. They look better in the mage race, then they revert to the rogue race. They look better there. This was a really strong performance from Alec's squad.
Yeah, I mean, there was only really one like real kill opportunity there over onto Nixie, where they had a full blind over onto Askarath into a full sap, but Acro could never really connect during that kill attempt, and you know, that was the only real opportunity that I saw. They were behind on the mage race, and this is also what I was kind of talking about with Diabolus. They like to go for the mage. They like to just kind of control the match by making sure that the mage doesn't have too much fun in the matchup, and then later on they can look for, you know, a win condition. And Fright Kitty, he just has to be defensive. You know, he can't really get in there as aggressively as he would like to, and I think that's a big reason to why the game goes the way it does. Here, Poike trinketing out of that blind, and unfortunately gets sheep there on his trinket. And you know, a lot of these plays, they just generate so much pressure here, forcing out, you know, a lot of mana from Poike. You can see he's basically at this point in the game, and here Alec gets cloned on that Ray of Frost. A little bit unfortunate there, but also a nice offensive cyclone to keep Acro low here, and he does kind of recover. I think no, actually he doesn't. This was just a chase down.
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't have mana left. It felt like it was... I mean, I was really impressed by Diabolus. I don't know if we share that sentiment, but they just seem to have control of the game. As you say, there were a couple of opportunities for Change My Mind, but we just saw Change My Mind contesting Method Black. There was at least 2 games that could have potentially gone in their favor. Here, Diabolus looked like the stronger team in basically any way you look at the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, they had essentially, their main objective of the game was, let's make sure that Fright Kitty can't really get aggressive. Let's make sure that we have a win condition by pressuring Fright Kitty all the time. That way, we're gonna have a mana lead. We're gonna have a race lead if it turns into a mage race. And later on in the game, even when, you know, they started going rogue, they had the advantage there as well. So Diabolus really showing us how strong they are in this mirror in game number 1. And I don't know what Change My Mind is actually going to do, because I feel like if you go Druid and they go Mage, it can be very tricky to actually reach the Druid if he positions well on a large map. So maybe Change My Mind should just pick a smaller map, and they do exactly that. They pick Hook Point. Makes sense, because now they can... there's not really an opening to go for the Mage, I think, on a small map like this, without having the other team being able to pressure your Druid as well.
Yeah, the mage would just be able to blink to pillars and stuff. It's going to be much better. And this was the map choice they also chose against Method Black as well. So clearly a preference pick for Change My Mind. I'm pretty excited here because, you know, we saw 4 Rogue Mage mirrors. Now we're most likely going to see a series of Rogue Mage mirrors here. And I mean, the grand final, most likely more Rogue Mage mirrors. It's really nice to see these teams go at it. They're going to hop straight into game. No messing around when it came to the picks. Everyone knows what they want here. Change My Mind, they just need to play it a little bit better, Sid.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the aggressive map pick is just going to be this playstyle for Change My Mind. They found victory. Oh, no, they didn't. Did they find victory?
They lost.
There's so many
really
Rogue
close.
Mage mirrors.
It was
now.
really close.
It was really close. These seem to be the small map lock-ins for Change My Mind, and that's probably indicative of a playstyle difference, certainly. Diabolus looking for these extended games, and then finding the kill later in dampening. Change My Mind looking to just play more of a mid-game, early-game style, and then Method Black seemed to be a mix of both. And are they the best at both? Because if they're the best at both, then they're just clearly the best Rogue Mage Druid. But right now in this series, it looks like being able to extend the game is the more beneficial strategy, with Diabolus in the lead on 1 point.
Yeah, very similar builds. Of course, identical compositions on either side. May the best team win, as we see the second map here coming out of Change My Mind. Of course, the loser of this one, just to remind you guys, will be eliminated. The winner moves forward to guaranteed top 2 on points in the summer season for Europe.
Yeah, let the games begin. Change My Mind down a point. Diabolus up 1-0 right now. Fright Kitty, Alec positioning in the midfield, going to be building up some damage. I'm curious to see, once again, is Diabolus going to be going after Fright Kitty? Can they force him so defensive in the match? In the last game, Diabolus had a lead in all regards, damage, control, everything. Asgrath now into a full kidney shot. Big offensive push here by Change My Mind. Asgrath preemptively Iron Bark that go. And as a result, he didn't have to trade out his trinket. He didn't have to trade out his bark skin. And I think he's going to be just fine during this next attempt.
All right, let's see if that is true. Vendetta still available, and we've seen often Asgarath a bit unresponsive in situations where Vendetta is available, wants to make sure he goes 1 for 1, but actually just gets overwhelmed with normal damage. So he needs to be careful. Repositioning back at the wall. Fright Kitty the target once again for Diabolus. So they are sold on this mage strategy. pre-dampening, but after the 2 ice block window is lost or cold snap is resetting, and then they switch their strategy to a different target. This shuts down the mage a lot. It certainly plays into extending the match for them, and if that is their main objective, then it makes a lot of sense.
And DR Kitty on Fried Kitty, but there's still good pressure here for Diabolus. Shadow Step Kit comes in from Acro. Is he going to be able to get any damage rolling? No one's taking damage. Changed my mind, just can't find damage, really. I mean, they're going after Asgrath right now. He pre-Iron Barks the kidney shot once again. Nicely done by Asgrath. 2 for 2 with those pre-Iron Barks. Might be able to keep him alive. He greeds it. He uses the Bark Seed, and he's still getting low. This is a little bit scary here for Asgrath. Cyclone from Minpoiki. That was a beautiful Cyclone. This is slowly but surely resetting that stun diminishing return. If he gets another Cyclone, Acro might be able to find the kidney shot, and Asgrath could easily fall if they have damage. They're still all over him. There's the Garrote. He's loading him up with bleeds. Asgrath on a full kidney shot. He trinkets out into a bash. Do they have any more damage? Seems like Asgrath has been able to hold on. He weathers the storm. He escapes, crosses the map, and he does manage to survive, but there's no bark skin. There's no trinket. Asgrath's going to be really vulnerable until that bark skin cooldown comes back up.
Close call, but Diabolus make it out alive, although their pressure on Change My Mind is non-existent. I have really not seen Fried Kitty, Acro, or Minpoiki in any trouble whatsoever, and perhaps it's just the map selected from Change My Mind. It benefits their early game strategy. Diabolus landing a double Ring of Frost. Now they're switching targets to the Rogue. Perhaps the Mage Race not going to work on this close-quartered combat, and Cloak of Shadows will be forced in that exchange. Acro looking to try and swap out of the blind. Alec blinking over to support. Nick's Acro Polymorph, but dispelled instantly. Asgrath could be in trouble. Big damage following suit. Bashed up afterwards. Still a lot of damage. Has Ironbark available. Gets spell stolen on the Gladiator Safeguard. Beautiful play by Fried Kitty. Asgrath somehow making it out alive there. Acro stunned at bay by Nixie. Nixie now stunned by Acro as he looks to switch targets while Asgrath retreats, and Poike jumps in maybe for a Cyclone, not able to find it. Asgrath going to line of sight around the corner. Both teams stable in this position, but I feel like Change My Mind have the upper hand.
Yeah, Minpoiki gets the Cyclone onto Nixie. Good control. That was really good evasive maneuvers by Asgrath. Minpoiki was trying to move in, looking for a Cyclone. Asgrath managed to dodge it. Mana in favor of Minpoiki at this point. We're about 3.5 minutes into the game. Acro taking a little bit of damage. They're trying to soften him up before the stun. Are they going to be able to do it? Nixie moves forward. Acro with the counter kidney shot onto Nixie. Unfortunately, I don't think it was. Actually, it was. They're all playing Relentless. Acro now getting stunned up. There's a bash on Minpoiki into a full Cyclone, but Nixie's still the one that's low. Asgrath struggling to top him off. Feint comes out by both Rogues, trying to avoid a little bit of damage. There's a dance in the midfield. Full Ring of Frost and Minpoiki. Now Acro's in a lot of trouble. No Cloak of Shadows. He has the evasion. He uses it, but if he gets caught in a stun, this is a disaster. Minpoiki in a polymorph. Acro could easily fall. Gladiator Safeguard comes in. Spell stolen away. Minpoiki able to get off his Iron Bark as well as his Overgrowth, and I think with that, Acro is going to get topped off almost instantaneously. Now it's Nixie on the back foot.
Yeah, Nixie on the back foot. Cloak of Shadows about to fade. Asgrath Cyclone for one more second. His mana is not looking good. Acro pre-feints the counter engagement, reducing a lot of damage, but there's actually no other defense available. Perhaps they can just overwhelm him. He's on the run. Nixie in hot pursuit to close it out. Minpoike's bash. Fried Kitty can't assist. Acro Shadow Steps to get through the evasion and stun Nixie, but Nixie trinkets out to close it out with a full blind, and I'm not sure if he's going to make it out. He has to defensively blind Nixie, but Fried Kitty, can he support? He's counterspelled. Asgrath is trying to just swipe away the remaining health. Not able to find the kill. Nixie moves in to nail it. He gets Pauline, maybe not. Dispelled. Big Ice Lance there is enough to close it out. Diabolus take game 2.
Yep, Diabolus. It was starting to look good for Change My Mind. They kind of threw caution to the wind and just started tunneling down Asgrath through all of his defensive cooldowns, but ultimately good peels, good survivability. And now, Diabolus 2-0. I mean, this has not been a good day for Change My Mind in these mirrors.
Yeah, it just looks like Diabolus, they know how to diffuse the situation. When Asgrath is getting all in, they just keep using those defensive kidney shots onto the Rogue Acro. They just keep making sure that he doesn't have a good time. Asgrath finally recovers after, a couple of close calls. And then as soon as that has happened, Alec really had a great performance this game. I think we're actually going to be able to see it here. he lands such a nice Ring of Frost over onto Minpoike at one point here. He blinks into the smoke bomb, uses the Ray of Frost, gets counterspelled on it, goes for the sheep over onto Fried Kitty, Asgarath as well with the Cyclone, and then here the resheep. This is actually after that Ring of Frost attempt, and he's going to go here for the second Ring of Frost over onto Minpoike out of that blind, and he just he has a defensive blind there onto Nixie, but so much crowd control is going to be able to allow them to finally reconnect. Fried Kitty as well getting counterspelled on Arcane, which means that he cannot shut down Alec on that CC chain, and that's going to be enough crowd control to take him down. And unfortunately, Acro as well is behind that pillar in that split second where Minpoike actually can heal. It's going to deny the Iron Bark his only chance of surviving that.
Yep, it was looking like Diabolus are the better of the mirror here. I'm very excited to see if Diabolus versus Method Black could be a kind of Game 7 mirrors. Those have been the two teams to beat in the Rogue Mage Druid. We're one game away from that eventuality. Diabolus taking the lead. We are ready with the third game of this series, potentially the last game here for Change My Mind. They started the day in the upper bracket. Now they find themselves 0-2 down in mirrors to Diabolus. They are up against it. They need a victory here. Fried Kitty, Acrolos, and Minpoike really need to find something because it has not been a good day for them.
I mean, at this point, it is not looking good for Change My Mind. They got destroyed in the upper bracket by Method Black, and now Diabolus up 2-0 has just been dominating them so far.
Acro got found in stealth. That's not going to be a good start for Change My Mind considering they're on match point. Diabolus with clean triple crowd control. This could be an ice block from Fried Kitty. He's got to do everything he can to hold it as long as possible. Temporal Shield is ticking away. Is he going to be able to get away with it? Spell Seal on the Glider Safeguard. Doesn't want to go down without blocking. Very dangerous game that he's playing while Minpoike sits through crowd control. Comet Storm connects. Another Ice Lance. Concentrated Flame. How much lower is he going to risk going? Minpoike Cyclone again, but with Iron Bark, Fried Kitty starts to stabilize.
Wow. Fried Kitty holds on to his ice block. It looks like, I mean, that was a dangerous game to play, but at the end of the day, he holds on to the ice blocks. He had it all under control the entire time. Kitty shot on Fried Kitty. Good pressure rolling, but it seems like Diabolus has lost their momentum onto Fried Kitty. They invested quite a bit, and without getting that ice block, that's got to be a disappointing strategy. Now, Asgrath and a kidney shot. Alec defending him with a polymorph onto Acro. Good control, good teamwork. Nixie's still all over Fried Kitty in the match, but without crowd control, and Minpoike should be able to heal through this. Fried Kitty gets caught into a full kidney shot. Big Comet Storm coming in from Alec. Where's the follow-up damage? Ironbark easily denies that Temporal Shield as well. And it seems like Fried Kitty's going to be completely fine. If they have any more burst damage, any more crowd control, Minpoike, they finally got through the Temporal Shield. They got through the Ironbark. This is where they have to get an ice block. If they don't get it now, it's a disaster. They've had so much momentum. Nixie in some trouble, though. It's a full blind into a sap on Asgarath. Nixie trades out his Cloak of Shadows. That was Ironbark as well from Asgarath. Both teams exchanging blows.
Oh, full blind on Minpoike. It looks like he's actually trying to sit through it. It could be a good investment if he gets away with it, but at the same time, it's match point, and if he doesn't, it's going to be the end of the game. Opting to trinket the sap. Gets found in stealth, though, by the pet freeze. But unfortunate, not able to find any advantage off of that. Acro has Vendetta. Who is he going to commit that to? No real significant openings for that cooldown just yet. Perhaps he holds it in his pocket for an opportunity later on. Actually just targeting Asgarath. Change My Mind are desperate. They're going straight for the throat, trying to go for the healer. Asgarath anticipates the attack. Pre-Iron Barks, get into bear form prior. Bark skins as well. Will it be enough? And Poike's on top of him to cyclone him at low health if need be, but Asgarath manages to jump to safety. Asgarath totally reading Change My Mind like a book there.
Asgarath, I think, is preemptively Ironbarked every single kidney shot that Acro has thrown his way. It's unfortunate for Change My Mind. Asgarath doing an excellent job. We kind of talked about him as one of the X factors on the team of Diabolus. Just such a phenomenal druid for so long. Sometimes he doesn't get the recognition he really does deserve as an all-star player, but he's really showcasing that in this series so far. Asgarath in stealth, what is he going to get done? Is he going to move in, look for a stun? No, just throws the heals on Nixie. Acro realizing there's an open target, and Asgarath without Barskin, he's vulnerable, but there's a bash on Acro. Nice control. Alec follows it up with a polymorph. Now Nixie, Alec can push in and try to get some damage rolling on Fried Kitty. They're trying to go after Asgarath, but it just hasn't been working out, and at this point, both teams have sort of stabilized completely. It's essentially a reset on all health bars. Both druids at around 65, 70% mana.
I don't know if it's a complete reset. This situation, Asgarath doesn't have the same luxury to get through a full kidney shot with no Glider's Medallion, although It wasn't really that amount of damage. Minpoike didn't even have to bark skin. I was expecting that to be a lot more powerful from Diabolus. Now they're going back to the mage as the target. Asgrass in stealth. He's sneaking on top of Minpoike. What's he going to be doing to Minpoike? You can only imagine that it's not something too nice. Doesn't actually manage to get the crowd control, unfortunately. Asgrath is now blinded. Nixie has fallen behind. He's going to have to trade Cloak of Shadows. Perhaps even more cooldowns if the crowd control continues. Both druids are blinded, unable to heal. Fried Kitty exchanges Temporal Shield. That recovers him, while Minpoike sits through the blind sap, opting to trinket the sap part of the chain. Asgrass still has his Gliders Medallion. Acro polyed off of him as he jumps away from Minpoike, not playing too aggressively. We see Nixie trying to make a swap to Minpoike. And he gets stunned behind the pillar. A bit of an overextension on his part. Asgrath in crowd control from Minpoike, but even being stunned around the pillar, Feint and Crimson Vial likely to be enough for Nixie to survive. Nixie going to Shadow Step over, try and catch Minpoike off guard in this position. Again, not finding the bark skin. Minpoike knows Nixie's playstyle. Nixie is going to just bait as many cooldowns as he can and then go for an all-out with the Vendetta. He's held onto his Vendetta for probably the last 3 kidney shots or so, and Minpoike is refusing to fall for the bait.
Well, I mean, in that situation, it was actually Fried Kitty who did a really good job just getting Alec in a polymorph. The kidney shot went off, and Alec actually did 0 damage in it. He was just polymorphed into another polymorph. It was really good crowd control coming in from Fried Kitty, and as a result, Minpoike could easily hold on to his bark skin, and he kind of has to. I mean, at that point, if he had traded out the bark skin, it would have been a bit disastrous, especially with no trinket. He would have no trinket, no bark skin, with only Nixie attacking him. I think it was a smart read, but like you said, Minpoike's been doing a really good job. Nixie, 50% health right now. He's got no Cloak of Shadows, no Vanish. He does have the evasion. There's an interrupt on Asgrath. This is actually really dangerous for Nixie. He goes for the damage over onto Fried Kitty, interrupts him on Arcane. Alec just spamming out the damage. Fried Kitty could be in some trouble, but it's Asgrath that's in the full Ring of Frost. Acro lands the full kidney shot on Nixie. Fried Kitty needs to find some damage. Is he going to be able to find it? Alec just controlling up the game. Interrupt on Fried Kitty, polymorph on Fried Kitty. I think Nixie should be able to walk away, and they might be able to recover his health.
Although had to trade his evasion. Cycloned at low on that cooldown. And Poike cycloned in reverse by Asgrath. Asgrath lining up a big heal, saving Nixie. Nixie stunning up Fried Kitty. Fried Kitty now the target for Diabolus. About a minute into dampening. Mana favored to Diabolus. Cooldowns are a little bit too close to call as to who is exactly in the lead. Fried Kitty isolated, though, in this position. It could be an ice block. Diabolus keeping themselves in game number 3 if they can get it, but they're not finding it. Ironbark from Minpoike looks to be enough. Pre-feint by Nixie, anticipating some big damage there as Asgrath has to sit through a full blind sap. No Gliders Medallion available. Nixie does everything that he needed to survive in that situation. The pre-feint, Cloak of Shadows out of the chain, but the chain is continuing for an extended period of time, and that will net them the Gladiator Safeguard from Nixie as well as the Ironbark. And I would say that, change my mind, if they don't win in this position, I'm not sure what position they're going to win in.
Yeah, Nixie still has the Vanish, though, and now they're going after Minpoike. This is a nice attempt by Diabolus, the all-in on the Druid. What is Minpoike going to do? He uses the Barskin. He's trying to cross the map. Manages to get behind the pillar, and that should be enough defense to keep him alive. Now Asgrath being targeted down, Alec with defensive polymorphs, and both of these teams have stepped in a lot more of a defensive position. Going after the mage from Diabolus shuts down Fried Kitty's damage quite a bit, but it's hard to take him down, so it automatically turns into a really defensive game when you target the enemy mage. Bash on him in Minpoike. Fried Kitty still getting a little bit low. He's trying to kite Nixie, trying to avoid some damage at all cost. Manages to hold on. Bash now onto Asgrath, and Minpoike looks for a Cyclone. He finds it. Acro trying to get damage rolling on Alec, but Alec just completely schooling him, keeping him kited, keeping him locked down in Kona Cold. And Frost Nova, Acro abandoned ship, now making a swap over onto Nixie.
Nixie cycloned at low. Asgrath looking like he needs to time some heals right out of it. Gets cycloned again. Change my mind. Can they set up for wins off this? Doesn't look like it. And Diabolus' cooldowns have rotated and our back available mana has evened out. And I would say that perhaps the game is actually in Diabolus' court now with so many cooldowns available to them. Asgrath pre-iron barking, anticipating an attack, but Acro is patiently waiting and actually switches targets, going after Nixie with a smoke bomb. That pulls Nixie's every man for himself. He tries to turn the table, stunning up Fried Kitty in a smoke bomb of his own, looking to push for an ice block, but Temporal Shield is activated. It's a race against the clock. Can they find the ice block? block with a couple seconds left. No, they can't. Temporal Shield bounces Fried Kitty back into the fight. Cyclone 1 second too late by Askrath, not denying the heals. Acro looks like he's tapping his way over to Askrath. Alec is playing goalie for him. Frost Nova on Acro in midfield. Frost Nova on the Dispel. Beautiful crowd control. Minpoike is sneaking across, jumping on top of Askrath, setting up for potentially the game-winning crowd control. Both Fried Kitty and Minpoike casting simultaneously. Alec can't stop both of them. Cyclone secured. Nixie going to respect that and trade Cloak of Shadows. Now a swap to Minpoike. Diabolus going straight for the healer, trying to just rush down him for a kill at 23% dampening. Will Minpoike be able to recover through the damage? I don't think so if Nixie can stay on target. Fried Kitty's doing everything he can to keep him off the target. Nakra will support as well, and now Nixie is overextended. Askrath in a 1 second blind.
Oh, he trinketed it!
Into a 3 second cheap shot, but he pre-iron parked with Gladiator Safeguard. It should be enough durability for Nixie to survive, but what even happens? We have not seen a Rogue Mage Mirror go down to the point where both druids have 0 mana. It kind of feels like anything could happen at that point.
I mean, it's 26% dampening right now. Anything really could happen. All 3 targets are prime. Both mages have both ice blocks. Kitty shot over onto Nixie. Right now, Innervate is rolling for Askrath. Nixie's in a little bit of trouble. He shadow steps away onto Fried Kitty, opting for a defensive play once again. He wants to shut down the mage. Acro's getting kited. Alec's been doing a really good job with his Novas, with his Cone of Cold, denying Acro. Fried Kitty getting low. This could easily be his first ice block, and it is. Bash on him in Poike. Keep in mind, though, Askrath, he's got no trinket. It just seems like when they go after Alec, they just do nothing. Alec has just been, honestly, doing a phenomenal job, just completely shutting down Acro. Cone of Cold after Cone of Cold, Nova after Nova. Acro hasn't been able to move. Alec's just been kiting him, and it's Fried Kitty on the back foot in a full Kitty shot, and they could just take him down. Ray of Frost from Alec closes out the game. Beautifully done. Diabolus just completely wiped the floor with Change My Mind into 3-0.
Yeah, very convincing 3-0. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to the grand final now, because we saw Change My Mind taking Method Black in close games. Now Diabolus looked even more one-sided. They wiped the floor with Change My Mind in this one. Yes, they played a slower style, but they had complete control of all 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's not well, it's slower, but it's still like an aggressive style. I don't like to see it as a defensive style. It's just a different target, essentially. Like, mages are tanky, so you're not really gonna win that way. Like
Instantly,
super quickly. You're just gonna, it's gonna take a while, but it's gonna be more controlled, and it's still gonna be aggressive. I mean, I can pretty much guarantee that Diabolus did more damage than Change My Mind that they were, you know, on the up and up throughout the match. And eventually, you know, it just comes to a point where, okay, let's push in, let's get the crowd control, and then here they force out the block just with raw pressure, full Ring of Frost, and when you're getting into this situation, you can just cross crowd controlled Acro Lords and Minpoike so easily. You can get a counterspell there on Asgrath's Cyclone, but then Nyx is going to throw the blind, and then, you know, at this point, Minpoike, he has some mana, he has the Iron Bark, but Fried Kitty just too far behind on that hypothermia as well. Alec really dishing out the pressure this game, and, you know, they take a convincing 3-0 lead, and, I mean, they take a 2-0 lead here on the desk as well, because your predictions are...
Yeah, that's true.
Gonzo.
That's very true.
You guys didn't win yet.
Diabolus
could win this.
could win against Method Black. I really do start to believe that about winning that one. And well, I mean, they win, which would be pretty good for them. I think that's fair to say.
We matter more, okay?
We matter more. Well, fair enough.
I disagree.
The score 1-2-3 easiest AWC. Diabolus are able to pull through and qualify to our grand final. They will have those mirror matchups against Method Black unless one of the teams deviate. Very unlikely though. Rogue Mage has just been such a dominant composition in the European scene. I'm very excited to see if it does continue that trend in North America.